Hey everyone, really excited to introduce all of you to a game that I built recently. It is called Teniz, spelled Teniz. The reason it's spelled that way is because it's short for tennis quiz. And the idea of the game is to test your knowledge on Grand Slam singles champions from the Open era. It is modeled on the ever so popular game of Wordle. I'm pretty sure all of you would have heard about Wordle by now. I'm addicted to Wordle. I've been hooked onto it for a while now. And being the tennis fan that I am, I had to try my hand at the tennis variant. So here's presenting tennis to all of you. So, as I said earlier, the objective is to identify a mystery tennis player who has been a Grand Slam champion in the Open era, and the way you go about doing this is primarily by trying to identify what those six parameters which are depicted behind those tennis balls. I mean, around year, slam, country, gender, titles, and place. I mean, the description of those are pretty straightforward, and it'll be more clear when we go through a working example. So the idea is to try and uncover or try and guess what clues are behind those tennis balls, so that those attributes can lead you to the mystery tennis player. And we start off in the normal mode, so you can see in the gameplay area that it shows that you're going to try your first attempt, and the mode is normal. We'll go to the different modes in a bit, but let's just focus on the normal mode for the time being. So as you see, when the game starts, you don't have anything to go by. All the clues are sort of masked, and the first option is to just enter a random player and see how it matches with the mystery player that you have to identify. And just so that everyone is clear, just let's take an example of Roger Federer. Assume Roger Federer is the mystery player behind, or the mystery player that we need to identify. He's won 20 Grand Slams, right? So you won't have all 20 years or all all 20 Grand Slams depicted or hidden behind those balls. It will always be just one of their wins. So if Federer has won 20, this particular or in a particular gameplay, the attributes of Roger Federer's win will be confined to one of his wins. What that means is, since he has won 20, there will be 19 other days where Federer will be featured with a different win of his being the attributes for that particular day. For someone who has won just one Grand Slam, say Marin Cilic or Goran Ivanovic, they will just feature once in the entire sequence of gameplay. Okay, having said that, let's try out a player and see how things go. So what I've seen many of my friends do who have started playing this game recently is they always go with either Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, or Novak Djokovic. There's no right or wrong way to play this game, but I'll explain in a minute as to why that is not always a good option. Let's try Roger Federer, right? So I'm typing Roger Federer, selecting his name from the list, and hitting enter. Now, what we see is the tennis balls behind which the clues were supposed to be hidden. They're still hidden, but it gives you a pattern of how your player or how Roger Federer that you entered now fares against the mystery player. So you can see a red means that there is no match. And when I say red, you can see the years that Federer has won a Grand Slam in. It starts from 2003 when he won his first Wimbledon, and then it goes all the way to 2018, which was his last win in the 2018 Australian Open. So what we can see here is none of these years are what is behind the year at the top. So the mystery player, it doesn't mean that the mystery player has not won a Grand Slam this year. That you have to be very careful and understand that it is just one of the victories of the mystery player that is getting depicted here. So it just means that this particular instance of his or her win is not in this particular year. When I say this particular year, the set of particular years from 2003 to 2018. Same with the Grand Slam. And this is the reason why I said Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, or Novak Djokovic, or anyone who has won all four Grand Slams is not a good player to start off with, because if you select such a player who has won everything, it will always show green, because the slam that is hidden will always be one of those four, and these guys have won all four, so it has to be one of these four. So you're not really getting any clue around the Grand Slam when you select a player who has won all four. The country is another clue. In this particular example, you can see that Roger Federer is from Switzerland, but the mystery player is not from Switzerland, and that's the reason it is shown in red. And if they are from the same continent, this particular field will be shown in yellow. So this is a field where a yellow indicator is possible as well, and so is the case with the year. I missed to tell you that yellow also can be shown in the year column if one of these years are like away from the winning year of the mystery person by 3. So if assume this person that we are trying to identify had won a Grand Slam in 2000, in the year 2000, 2001 or 2002, then the first field would have been shown in yellow because 2003, which is right at the top, is just is within that 3-year difference that I was talking about. And same with Federer has not won a title in 2011, right? So if this person had won a title in 2011, it would also have been indicated by a yellow indicator because 2010 is like within that 3-year span that we're talking about. So year is another parameter or attribute that can definitely be shown in yellow. Gender is quite self-explanatory. In this particular case, we know that the person that we're trying to look for is a he, because when we tried Roger Federer, we got a green indicator which says that the gender matches. Titles, again, the reason why Roger Federer is not a very good choice is because these guys have won more than 20 Grand Slams each, right? And not many people have done that. So unless it is one of these guys that is the mystery player, starting off with the big 3 is not always a good idea. And obviously the last one in this particular example, we got lucky because when we tried a right-handed player, it shows us that it is red. So we know for sure that this is a guy because he matches, he is showing a green indicator and the place or the style of play is showing a red indicator. And we know for sure that this is a guy who is a left-hander, and we still don't know which Grand Slam we're talking about, and we still don't know what country or what continent it is. We know that the person is not from the whole of Europe, and we don't even know the year at this point. So this is why I don't normally start the game with somebody like a Roger Federer. I like to go for people who have not won that much in their careers, or I usually go with John McEnroe, and I'll tell you the reason why. So let's now try John McEnroe. Yeah. So what you can see here is this is our second try, right? So you can see Federer's attributes at the top, which was our first try, and now we have moved on to John McEnroe. So the year, like I explained earlier, right? Now the year is showing in yellow. What this means is between McEnroe has won his slams between 79 to 84, and I think all years between that except for 82, right? So 79 minus 3 is 76. So for that range to work with the difference of 3, we can safely say that this person that we're trying to identify has won this particular Grand Slam between the years 76 to 1987, and not in any one of these years, right? So it can only be 76, 77, 78, cannot be 79, 80, 81. It can be 82, cannot be 83, 84. It can be 85, 86, and 87. Because if it was one of these years, it would have shown in green. It is showing in yellow because it is not one of these years, but it is at a difference of 3 from one of these years. Now we know the Grand Slam that we are talking about is not US Open and not Wimbledon. Again, this doesn't mean that the person, mystery player, has not won the US Open or Wimbledon. It just means that this particular win that we are discussing about, it could be one of the wins of this person. That particular win that we're talking about is either the French Open or the Australian Open in this case. And you will see when the things are revealed at the end. So we know for sure this is either the Australian Open or the French Open that we're talking about. The country is showing in red again. So we know he is not from USA. And gender, we already knew it was a he. Title, now we have come closer. So since 7 is yellow, it just means that the person has won between 4 to 10. And obviously, we knew that the player was left-handed because we had already got a red for Roger Federer, who is right-handed. So this helps us narrow down the options, and this is how you play the game. You use your clues from previous guesses. So now we know it's not a European player, it's not a North American player. Let's try an Australian Grand Slam champion who is left-handed. The first thing that comes to my mind is the great Rod Laver. So let's try Rod Laver. You can see the country field of when we entered Rod Laver is showing as red. So now we can say we conclusively know that the mystery player is not from Australia. For all probability, we are now down to South America. And obviously one Grand Slam champion that I can think of from South America, from the recent past is Del Potro. So let me try Del Potro. Yeah, obviously I know Del Potro was not going to work. Just wanted to see which country, or just narrow down the country so that I can refine my next guess. And the reason I knew it was not Del Potro, because I know Del Potro is a right-handed player, and our mystery player is a left-hander. That leaves me to my next guess, which is Vilas, because I know Vilas is a left-hander, and this should be it, guys. I mean, yeah, it is. So you can see when you entered Vilas, you got all the success message and your stats are showing. And now if you go back to the top, right, now the clues at the top has been revealed. Okay, now that we played the normal mode, right, let's look at one more example where I'll explain the other modes. This is, if you ask me, the normal mode is more challenging and it's more fun. But if you need more clues and you don't want to spoil your streak, or one particular day if you feel that it is too tough, then there are other indicators or other hints to help you during your gameplay. So let's start as normal. We'll switch the mode in between our gameplay. You can switch it anytime you see the switch to easy mode button. What it does, I'll explain when we actually hit it. So let me start with my regular first guess. Again, there is no right or wrong, right? In this case, it proved to be an absolutely useless guess, because it probably gave me information around the gender, and it just told me that the win that we're discussing about, or we're trying to find, is one among the US Open or Wimbledon, and we know that it's a she that we are looking for, and this person is not from the North American continent. So let me refine my search and let me go to somebody who is like, and we also know that this is a right-hander. Let me try somebody like Steffi Graf, who I know is from a different continent. And in this case, it happened to be Steffi Graf. I just got plain lucky. That can happen too. There is a total of 430 Grand Slam singles tournaments in the open area, and there have been 111 unique winners of those. So there are a lot of players who will get repeated or featured again. Steffi is obviously one of them because she's 122, Federer is 120, so he'll be featured in 20 of those gameplays across 430 days. But the same player will not be repeated in the same week. So let's play one more. I just want to show you guys the other modes available. So yeah, it is not John McEnroe. And let me open the so I'm going to hit the switch to easy mode. What happens, just pay attention to the top indicators, what happens. So when I hit that, you can see that the top indicators are now flipped to the tennis balls, and two of those indicators have already opened up. This is because I am at my second attempt. Depending on how many attempts you have made, equal number of attributes at the top will be revealed, and for any subsequent guess, it will keep revealing one additional clue. So for now, we can see that it's a French Open winner and it is a she, which we already sort of knew. We didn't know which was the exact Grand Slam, but we knew that it was a she. And let me try a French Open winner who is in the vicinity of 7, right? So I'll not try somebody who's in the vicinity of 7. I want to get to the last clue to show what additional hints are there. So let me try Steffi. I know for sure it is not Steffi because she's 122, so it'll never be Steffi. And yeah, so this clue tells me that it is a German, it is somebody from the European continent, and she plays right-handed, and she has not won in that 87 to 99 range, or even within a 3-year span from that window. So I'm not refining it based on these things. I'm just purposefully hitting wrong answers so that we get to the last clue. Let me try Margaret Court. I know she's won 24, so she will not be our winner. Quite frankly, I'm not expecting her to be. Again, we know this is not right. Let me try a guy so that I know for sure it will not work. Let me take Bjorn Borg. Yeah, as expected, it is not Bjorn Borg. But look at the clues on the top, right? So we can see that with every guess, right? One of the clues is opening in the easy mode. This doesn't happen in the normal mode. Normal mode, so you get just the indicator, but the easy mode just gives you straightforward clues on what those attributes at the top are. So we know that we are looking for the 1981 French Open ladies champion who's won 4 titles, and she is from the Czech Republic. I think I know who she is. I think it is Hanna Mandlikova that we're trying to find, or we are discussing about here. But let me just give one more incorrect guess. Let me give Pete Sampras. So yeah, you can see the ball on the right. The place attribute got revealed now. So with this, after 5 attempts and on the 6th attempt, all the 6 balls at the top have been opened. All the attributes are revealed, and this should give you everything that you need to identify the player. Especially if he or she is pretty famous, this should be all that you need. But in some cases, right, this particular example is also not very easy. I'm thinking it is Hanna Mandlikova. We can try Hanna, but if we go wrong, then that'll break my streak. But at the end of the 6th clue, right, or on the last clue for both modes, normal and on the easy mode, there's a new button that comes up. It's called additional hint. What it shows is when you press on that, it gives you the pattern of the name. I just wanted to show you how this additional hint can be used. And let's try Hanna Mandlikova. And yeah, sure enough, she's our answer. Let me sign off by saying a big thank you to everyone who has played the game and who has shared the game. Thank you for all your support and feedback. Have a great time playing, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Cheers.